Hi, this is John with Bank Account Bonus Central, and today's video is all about the Roundhill WeeklyPay Dividend Declaration Review. We're talking about, I think it's 19 funds now. We're talking about, this one is for November 14th, 2025, so it was yesterday as a day of recording. And some of these actually pay out more than 2% per week. I call that the 2% club. And for this week's 2% club, there's nobody, because the markets have gone red this week, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I've put money into these investments knowing that they're going to pay every week. And when things go down, you want to know what they're going to look like, because they pay out every week. And every week, if you do drip, which is what I'm doing, you get more and more shares for cheaper and cheaper. And that's not a bad thing at all. So super excited to share this with everybody. Before I jump in, do have a quick disclaimer. So I'm a customer of the companies mentioned in this video. I'm not affiliated or endorsed by anyone. This is my personal review for informational purposes only. The information in this video is current as of time of recording. These videos are not short but are very profitable. Use this information at your own risk. This is called fishing, not catching. I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice, and as is everything in life, your mileage may vary. Joke of the day. Why did the coffee file a police report? It got mugged. So the reason I make these videos is because this quote from Warren Buffett. It says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. And that is not what I'm interested in doing at all, because I'm a high school math teacher in Texas, and every year I teach. I'm year number 14 in being a high school math teacher, and it gets worse and worse and worse. Yes, I'm a math teacher, not English teacher, so there. So how do you make money while you sleep? Well, you have to invest in different things, and I feel very comfortable in investing in companies that aren't going to go away anytime soon. Google's, Microsoft, Nvidia, Meta, Amazon, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. In order to take advantage of these offerings, you do need to have a brokerage account, and if you're going to get a brokerage account, might as well get one that's going to pay you to become a customer. So I recently made a video about a firm called Public, where you got to deposit $1,000 and you'll get a $100 referral bonus. That will be a stock of your choice in any of the Mag 7 stocks, which is the Googles, Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla, Amazon. I forget the other two. That's bad. But also the S&P 500 or the triple Qs, the NASDAQ. So you only need to keep that. You don't even have to invest $1,000 after about 4 days. If you want, you can take the $1,000 out, keep the $100 in there in stock. My favorite one is Amazon, because they plan on doubling the size of their company, and they're doing that. And they're trying not to hire any more workers. They're just having more and more robots doing stuff like pulling products. You only got to keep the $1,000 in there 90 days. Full video here. Only thing that's not accurate is it's not a 12-month waiting period. You only got to keep the bonus stock in there for 90 days. Link to that video is right there. Take advantage of it. I plan on keeping my public account because I do like them as a brokerage. Second bonus is SoFi Bank. If you have a direct deposit, get paid $325 for that. If you're interested in another easy $300 bonus for a personal loan, take advantage of that. I show you how to do that without paying more than like $10 in interest. So you'll net $615. Take that $615 and invest in stuff that will make you money every single week. Put in companies that you feel confident are not going to go away. So third one is MooMoo. I love MooMoo. I am on them, on their platform every single day. They give you MooMoo points. Nvidia is you can trade those in for stocks. Nvidia is the first $5 trillion company, and you can get over $1,000 in free Nvidia stock by transferring money. The minimum you got to put in is $100, and you'll get, I think, $25 in free Nvidia stock. So instantly get a 25% bonus. So use my referral link, take advantage of it. Link to that video is right there. All right, so as I mentioned before, I'm a high school math teacher who's very much looking forward to retirement. Let's just say I really enjoy getting these emails every week as I'm trying to replace my income as a teacher. My wife says, you're trying to save for retirement. No, I'm not trying to save for my retirement. I'm trying to replace my income. So when I see these emails on a weekly basis, they cover Apple, AMD, Amazon, ARM. Well, what is ARM? Think about what's on your arm. Wearable. AVG, which is a software company. Alibaba, which is the Chinese version of Amazon. Berkshire B, Coinbase, Costco, gold miners. Just recently put about 50 more shares of gold miners. Why? Because they literally have gold mines. You're not going to go wrong investing in gold mines because gold's going up, and I don't see it going down anytime. You can invest in gold itself. The Googles, Robinhood, Meta, Microsoft, Strategy, which even though they're going down, they pay a good amount in weekly income. Netflix, Nvidia, Palantir, Tesla, and Uber. So these the dates here is the X date is Monday the 17th. Payday is Tuesday the 18th. So I have different investments. Some pay out on Monday, some pay out on Tuesday, some pay out on Wednesday, some pay out on Thursday, and some pay out on Friday. So I'm literally getting paid 5 days a week, and you gotta love it. So here is the weekly list of what's going on. We're going to go over all of these in greater detail. There's gold paying ones that are separate, gold miners, and the gold weekly pay. Okay, so I broke this down into two different groups. The first one, which is in a collective, it's a huge basket. If you don't want to invest in each of these separately, the basket's called WPay, and I make a video on Monday which is about WPay. WPay is weekly pay. So the individuals, they pay out on Tuesday. WPay pays out on Wednesday. So we're going to look at these investments. So over here on the right hand side, this is the current one, and we're going to compare it to last week and see which ones did good in down weeks, because a lot of stuff went down. So the first one is Apple, and their price as of, they made the video, or they released their earning or the dividends on Monday, so I'm using the close on Friday price. Understand that on Monday things went down even further, so but that's a different story. You can't always adjust these for the most recent numbers. It's just based upon what they do their fig computations on. So Apple actually went up. So on close of day Friday, 42.50. That went up from 42.44. The dividend went down a little bit. Current dividend is 24 cents per share. The last week was 27 cents. It went down from 0.56 to 0.64. So I'm looking at the return, so which is the up or down. So that went down. AMD, the share price actually went up. They had really good earnings. They have a lot of good stuff going on with them. They're one of the next positions I want to take advantage of. I want them to get down even more. So next downswing, I'll probably my starter position for these is 50 shares, which is 2,500, and then the share, my full share is 100 shares, which would be for this case about 6,600. But I want to pay a little bit less. I'd rather pay around 6,000. Depending on whenever things go down further, they do pay out really nicely. So if we look here, the price went up $66. Last week was $64. Last week the dividend was $1.04. This week was 56 cents. 1.62%. This week is 0.84. But that's still 0.84. That's almost 1%. If you add these together, that's 2.5% in 2 weeks. So if you figure your high yield savings accounts pay 3-4%, you've got the majority of that made in 2 weeks. So that's still down from last week. Amazon, my favorite. I'm getting more and more Amazon stock because this can easily go from, it's about 250-ish per stock. I can easily see this being $1,000 stock. 70% of all American families have a Prime membership. So this week it went down $46 from $48. The dividend went down from 40 cents from 42. It went, it was pretty almost flat. So basically, but still down. 0.87 went down 0.86. So that's down. Avgo, which is Broadcom, $50 went down from 54. The dividend went down 49 cents from 76 cents. Last week was 1.4. They were in the 1% club. This week is almost 1%. I mean, if things go down and they're still paying about 1% a week, that's still nice. Down. But Berkshire B, which is one of the most boring companies, it went up because they don't just invest. They do true investing in this company. Like Geico. They like Geico. They bought the whole thing. Star Furniture, which is in Houston, they just bought the whole thing. They actually do true investing, not speculating, which is what we do. So last week was $45 per share. This week's $47. It's gone up $2. The dividend actually went up as well, 13 cents to 19 cents. Too bad it's not that big of a move because they don't. They're pretty stable. So 0.29. So this week was 0.4. So still really good return. So they went up. They were the only two that went up. Coinbase went from $30.82 to 28. Last week's dividends was 49 cents. This week's 33. It's still in the 1% club. The first 1%. Last week was 1.59%. This week is 1.15, and that's still down, but still 1% per week. The Google went from 68 to 65. The dividend went from 64 cents to 55, from 0.94 to 0.84. That went down. Robin the Hood, which is my favorite out of all of these because it's super volatile. It's super. I own a whole bunch of these, and last week they were in the 2%. They were the only one in the 2% club, so they paid 2.1%. The value went from 62.88 to 58.23. This is when you want to get in. These opened up at 50. It's still at 58, so it's still higher than when it initially opened. I think it was in June. The dividend went from $1.38 to 70 cents. Went from 2.19 to 1.2%. That's just still phenomenal. Multiply 1.2 by 52 weeks. And you got a solid winner. It went down, but still, that's a winner in my book. Meta, they're not going anywhere. They went down a little bit from 55.36 to 34.50. From 35.36 to 34.54. From 11 cents, their dividend went up to 24 cents. Went down from 0.31% to 0.69%. So that's the second one that went up. The Meta, they spy on everybody. Everybody just willingly shows all their information on there. Microsoft went up in value from 42.84 to 43.86. The dividend went down from 24 cents to 18 cents, from 0.5% to 0.4%. So it still went down. Still a solid offering. Strategy went from 19.31 to 16.28. The dividend went from 28 cents to 23 cents. Went from 1.45 to 1.41%. Still phenomenal holding. Multiply this by 3, you're making a lot more than a high yield savings account. Still went down. Netflix went from 35 to 37. Netflix actually went up in value in this down week. The dividend went down from 31 cents to 26 cents, from 0.87 to 0.70, so that's a downer. Nvidia, I have 100 shares of these. Did that 2 weeks ago. Went from 46 to 45, which is not a bad. It still went down. The dividend went from 58 cents to 34 cents, which is kind of a bummer. But from 1.26 to 75, you're making almost 1% per week, which is really nice. That's almost 50% per year. In distributions. Palantir, they got a whole bunch of government contracts. They ain't going anywhere. From 41.50 to 39, from 81 cents to 34 cents, from 1.95 to 0.85 cents. They went down. Tesla, from 36.99 to 31.97, from 57 cents to 37 cents. 1.54% to 1.16 went down. If you add up all the dividends, if you got one share of all of these, you would have collected $5.42. The total in returns is $12.81. So the average return is 54 cents. So roughly that's going to be around what WPay should be paying, which is not bad at all. The average return is 0.85%, so almost 1% per week, which is really nice, especially consider how much red there was in the market this past week. The second tranche we look at is not WPay tickers. So these are not included in the basket, which is called WPay. ARM. As I mentioned, what's on your arm? A wearable. That tells you all sorts of information. I got 100 shares of this, and it went down from 46.70 to 39.60. It went down a lot. But the dividend went from 73 cents to 35 cents, from 1.56% to 0.88. That's still almost 1% per week. So I got more shares because they got cheaper. Am I worried? Not a bit. They're not going anywhere. Alibaba went from 49.94 to 46.56, went from 48 cents in dividend to 46 cents. So from 0.96% to 0.99. So that's a hair's length or breadth away from 1%. So that went up. Costco You gotta love the Costco. Their share price went flat, pretty much from 48.29 to 48.28, from 22 cents to 0.31. Their shares went flat, but they don't pay much in dividends because they don't fluctuate. They typically go up and to the right, boring, just like Berkshire B. Their dividend went from 22 cents to 31 cents, so 0.64, that went up, which is nice. Uber, love Uber. Uber Eats, 49.35 to 48.38, from 55 cents to 30, from 1.1% to 0.62, that went down. GDXW, you're buying into people who own gold mines. From 49.92, they went up to 54. They went all the way up to 56, and then they went down to 51 on Monday. So about another 50 shares. Should have bought more because they briefly touched 51, and now they're back up to like 54. So it's not a bad thing to invest in gold mines. They're paying, last week, their first dividend ever was 42 cents. Now they're at 48 cents. That's almost 1% per week. So that's not bad at all. Gold went from $50 to $53, $50.70 to 53. So they went up in value. Their dividends also went up from 17 cents to 22 cents. So even though you're investing in gold itself, my bad for not putting that. These also went up. So if you own one share of all these, you got $2.57 in dividends. Average is 43 cents, 4.42% return. Average return is 0.73%. The over 2% payout club, none this week, which, bloodbath, sea of red. Can't expect 2% payouts in such a red week. 1% up payout club was rather limited. Coinbase, 1.15. Strategy 1.41, my favorite Robin the Hood 1.2%, and Tesla 1.16%. What I'm currently invested in, so not financial advice, this is just what I'm doing. I have 658.33 shares. My goal is to get them to 1,000. They're averaging about over 70 cents lately. So this one I think 70 cents. So if they're paying roughly, sometimes they pay over $2 per week. That's 1,000 shares would be 2,000 per week. You can't really beat that. Dollar per share, that would be 1,000 per week. Palantir 54.38, Nvidia 102.21, ARM 104. These originally started out with 100. Now this one's 102. This one's 104. And the gold miners, I'm at 58. Next time they hit anywhere close to 51 or 52, I'll buy another 50 shares to be at 100, and go from there. I might put 100 in AMD because they're one of the high flyers as well. So Robin the Hood, this week's payout, $568.33 at 70 cents, $463.83. Am I annoyed that they went down in value? Not at all, because I'm able to get more and more shares each week because they went on sale. Palantir 58.31 shares times 34 cents this week. That's $18.48. That's about a third of a share this week. Nvidia 102.21 times 58 cents. That's $58. I'll get one new share per week. So reason I get 100 shares, so I can get one new share per week. So after 52 weeks, that's 52 more shares. So 100 turns into 150. And then next week, 100 turns into, or the next year, 100 turns into 200 shares. So I've doubled what I've made by the amount of shares. ARM 102 times 73 cents, that's 74. So I'll be able to get almost 2 shares this week. So not bad at all with that. The gold miners, 58 times 47.27, that's half a share per week. That's not bad. So I want to up that up to 100 or 108. So I'll be able to get roughly almost 1 share per, or I'll be able to get 1 new share per week in dividends. And those continue to make more and more and more. So total this week, $577.76. Not bad. So no alarm clocks, no waking up early, no driving 17 miles each way, no apathetic students. That's just the only thing I got to do is sleep and get that email and then update what I have, make some calculations, and easy money. Bank account bonus central verdict. I just love collecting weekly dividends for my favorite companies. Join me in this fun and profitable game and my journey to retirement or replacing my income. Still have comments off for these videos, but if you have any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms, you can email me tradingadventures@gmail.com and I'll get back to you rather quickly. Today's question: how many good deeds does it take to earn going to heaven? Answer: 0, because we can't. Romans 5:1 says, therefore, since we've been made right in God's sight by faith. Well, It's a faith thing. It's not a works thing. We have peace with God because of what Jesus Christ our Lord has done for us. He paid the penalty for sins. He paid a debt he didn't owe that we couldn't pay. Ephesians 2. For by grace you've been saved through faith. There it is again, faith. You can't earn your way to heaven. There's so many religions out there in the world who try to do enough good deeds to earn their way to heaven. It's not from yourselves. It's a gift from God. You can't earn a gift. If you try to pay for a gift, that's disrespectful. Not by works, so no one can boast that you earned your way to heaven to earn God's favor. We are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance as our way of life. God wants us to do good because of the love He has for us. But there's nothing we can do to earn heaven. Additional information, how to follow Jesus, gotquestions.org, link in the description box down below. If you're interested, still here with me, appreciate that. Like the video if you appreciate profitable content on a consistent basis. Share this with anybody who'll be able to benefit from it. Subscribe with bell notifications so you can be amongst the first to learn about such profitable opportunities. With that, look forward to seeing you in the next one. Peace, and may God bless you.